All right, we're live now. Good morning to everybody who is not present yet or who is watching the replay. I'm your host, DRHINO 419 or Dr. Hino 419, maybe DRHINO 419. I've been called so many names, I forget sometimes, but that's okay. And I have my two guests here, Bogdan Digital and Daniel Parker, two fine gentlemen, and of course, with the lovely Jessica Sawyer in the background.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Good to be here.
It's how long do I know you guys now? Like 2-3 years now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Wow. How time flies.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're getting old.
Yeah.
Yes, I started to think like, oh, okay, I'm not a teenager anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
a
don't
few
know.
years
Those
ago, I
days,
was like, I'm still young.
I don't know. Those days were pretty hectic. Just having those hunger pangs, and then you're just like eating. You're just like eating so much. I don't know. That happened to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, but anyway, I'm not here to talk about life. I'm here to talk about these two comics, Angel's
Yes.
Awakening and Guardian Angel. So
Yes.
I gotta say, huge fan of Bogdan. No one else can contest for me right there. No one else. And if someone tries to, well, let's just say you might go to the Shadow Realm, Yu-Gi-Oh style.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Indeed.
Oh boy. So how are y'all today?
Good.
I'm good. Yeah, doing good. Yeah. Guardian Angel Part 1 is being fulfilled as we speak. People are getting their books, so very happy.
Same. I cannot wait to get mine also.
Yeah.
Well, I got my book like 2-3 years ago. But it was nice to reread it and actually come across some things. I honestly, the best parts to me is during the night. I know that's the main course of the plot line right there. Since it is like it's a stealth mission, espionage mission, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right, right. So I really love how those neon colors pop out. It's so cool. I don't know. There's something about it that's just very attractive and like it's eye candy, man. It's like wow. I haven't seen anything. I've seen things that came close to it, but with Bogdan's art style, it really pops out for some reason, and I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to make a cyberpunk aesthetic to the comic. So I tried my best to give those neon lights their shine.
Yeah, but Bogdan did an amazing job on that on both books, and yeah, the aesthetic of it all largely inspired by like Ghost in the Shell and Akira.
Yeah, that's what was getting. Now that you said that, Ghost in the Shell, I was getting that vibe. I just couldn't recall it.
Yeah.
I've only seen the movie and a bit of the first season. That's it.
Uh,
And I mean the original movie, not
not
the.
the Scarlett Johansson one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched. I do own the Scarlett Johansson one, but that's because it was like $5. So I was like, well, I might as well get it. It's only $5.
It's I will say it's not horrible, but it doesn't compare to the anime.
Oh yeah,
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 it's
definitely.
yeah. I try to watch the anime at least once a year just
To remember.
to remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Also, the animation, it's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So how did this comic come about? Like, what other than the inspiration of like Ghost in the Shell and the other one? What made you really want to set out on this and make this into a reality?
So originally it was going to be a novel.
Really?
Yeah. Um,
Wow.
Yeah, I'd been working on it for a better part of a decade. A little bit about my background. I graduated from college in 2009, which was not a good time to be a recent college graduate with very little job experience. And so part of in between trying to find a job, I'd work on this story, and right around and then I went into business with my parents, did that for a little while, and but I was still working on the story, and um right around 2019, so actually, yeah, right around this time 4 years ago, I decided, well, I think this would work better as a comic book, because I was visualizing these characters in my head, and I'm like, well, I want to see them, actually see them, and not just written in prose. Which, nothing wrong with that. I mean, I still intend on writing novels at some point, or short novellas or short stories, but I thought, I think this would, if it had a cyberpunk aesthetic, Ghost in the Shell feel to it, then you know why not go into comic books. And so I adapted it into a comic book script, and I came across Bogdan in 2020,
Yeah,
um, right around, I want to say April or May of 2020.
I think May because I was already changing houses, so yeah, it was May
May,
2020.
yeah, and I started having him do some designs for Jessica, and because a problem I was running into was that she was looking a little too much like Black Widow, and I was trying to get away from that as much as possible. And then we I said, well, I've got this comic book I want to do, and like, would you like to work on it? And he said, yeah, absolutely. So then the rest of the, as they say, is history.
Yes,
And
and
oh, and I
when
was
when
gonna ask you
then
about.
when
Oh,
Daniel came to me to draw Jessica, I was drawing monsters. No, I
Yeah,
started I'm mostly a horror artist. Like he saw me on a Micah Curtis stream.
yeah,
Uh, so with Jessica was also a challenge for me because I was drawing monsters, not beautiful girls. So it wasn't in my zone, but I think
yeah.
we came through.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah. I pulled you to the dark side, as they say.
Yeah, yeah. Now I don't know how to draw monsters anymore.
Yeah.
yeah, now you just know how to draw beautiful women. Man,
Yeah.
again, have I said that I'm a big fan?
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, so how was it like with once you guys started? How was that process like, and then shipping it out? And like, can you just tell us about that? Really?
So basically, it's, I have Bogdan, I send him the script. He draws the pages out, and then uh, once he's done with that, then I send him off to the letterer, which is so far has been Eric Weathers, because he letters everybody's comic books. Um,
And he's good.
oh
He's
yeah, he's
really
good.
good.
Yeah. Um, and then once that's done, then I go right into getting the print files together, which at first was a challenge. I couldn't figure out how to do it, but now that I know how to do it, it's kind of like uh, what we call busy work. It's not hard. It's just kind of boring.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like when you do bureaucracy. When you
Oh
do
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and then once I get that, I get it printed off, and then I have RJ over at Critical Blast, who handles the fulfillment. I send everything over to him, including, I send the backer list over to him, and he I pay him to ship them all out.
Nice.
Yeah.
And have you guys encountered any problems?
In terms of like,
Like with the script formatting or trying to relate a scene into a drawing, but then it couldn't work because there's it just, I don't know, might be a little too much or might be too little, or there's just need to be a correction.
yeah, occasionally, yeah, not it, uh, yeah,
Not that many,
not that
sincerely.
many. Yeah, no, it doesn't happen very often. There might be we might
A
run into
like a T-shirt color change or something like that.
yeah, minor continuity changes here and there, but nothing, nothing so catastrophic that like, oh, Bogdan has to redraw the entire book. No, nothing like that.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
No,
Because
because also I send him like every time I'm thinking to reach a milestone, I'm sending him the sketch, the drawing, and
Yeah.
he will notice if something is wrong early on. So like this, I don't have to redraw the page.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Having constant communication, I think, is key between a writer and an artist. Just
yeah,
yeah, just so that the two of you are on the same page.
yeah, I know that definitely with me and Neff.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Jessica Sawyer, other than you know, again with what's her name, Major from Ghost in the Shell,
Yeah.
what other characters did you use to inspire you to make her?
Um. Well, a lot. I hate to. It actually took me a while to finally piece it together, but I don't know if either of you watched Dark Angel, the TV show.
Dark Angel sounds
Uh,
familiar.
it was
Yes, I think I saw some episodes.
yeah,
Uh,
it was with Jessica Alba.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
Now I remember it. I saw
yeah,
some episodes.
yeah. It took me a while to figure out, but some of her was pulled from Jessica Alba's character on that show. Um, you know having the special powers and kind of her demeanor with her personality, and I really like I've always liked femme fatale characters, and
Yes.
you know whether it's the aforementioned Black Widow or Catwoman or also I may be dating myself a little bit, but Mrs. Peel from the Avengers, the TV show The Avengers, British TV show The Avengers.
Oh,
um, yeah, that from the 60s. Yeah, kind of a
Uh,
similar, kind of a
all
similar
right.
vibe to the two of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
and for me,
And
design wise, I watched a lot of Catwoman.
Hmm.
I had a lot of Catwoman references and Bayonetta.
I hope.
Yeah.
For the,
Oh
for,
yes, I hope the new suit's something like that, please. Uh,
Yeah.
so, I'm currently looking at this comic right now, and of course, they have this war between the psychics and the elementals. Can you tell the audience about like the psychics and the elementals?
Yeah. So the two of them are bitter rival. The two groups are bitter rivals. They've been kind of fighting a quiet war for over the centuries, and they uh, they really don't know like why they don't like each other. They just it's kind of gotten to a point where they've been fighting so long that it's just kind of like pure hatred. It gets to a point where it's just like pure hatred, um, and especially more so with the elementals than the psychics. But then at a certain point, uh, the psychics' birth rates started to decline, and which may get explained at a certain point, of why that happened. And eventually the elementals won out, because just by sheer numbers. And then they took over the British government and overthrew took over the monarchy, and then started slowly taking over the world.
which culminates into I'm gonna butcher his name again. Britannia.
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 Yeah. The Britannian Empire. Yeah, it's oh, hey DB, good to see you, man.
Oh boy, isn't the man, the myth, and the legend?
Yes.
DB.
And of course he was on your show not too long ago talking about his fantastic novels.
Yeah, I still say Freya. Damn it, I'm already forgetting the name already, but it's my favorite girl from that book, even though she
Mariko.
only got like a little bit of cameo.
Yeah. But yeah, and then obviously then when that happened, then the Texas broke off from the United States and became the Free Republic of America. And they knew that people, the powers that be in that country, knew that the psychics were a good counter to the elementals, and so they tried to make their own psychics. And if you read Angel's Awakening, there was only one successful psychic that comes from that, and you're looking at her.
The main girl.
Yeah.
The babe.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was my big thing. That was another thing with kind of another reason why I wanted to do this as a comic book was, I mean, the two of us, we've all seen the trend with the way female characters are portrayed in mainstream comic books. Just they used to be babes, but now they're not.
What do you mean? I thought you liked the muscular women that look like men. You trying to tell me you don't like that?
No. uh, but yeah, and so I when I went about wanting to do Jessica, and I wanted her to be a babe. I wanted her to be somebody that guys would be like, oh God, she's hot, and then women would be like, oh, she's really cool. Which I think we've struck that balance pretty well with her.
Yeah, I say mission successful.
Yeah. But
And so,
yeah.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, so this type of suit that she wears in the gadgets, what is the suit like? Like when you were coming up the suit, did you or Bogdan or both of y'all like think about like how it would function? Go into the details of it.
Yeah, definitely. It needed to be something that could obviously protect her, but also something she could move around in very easily. Because she's very nimble and very agile, and so she had to be in something tight enough that she could move around very easily and undetected.
Yeah, because each time I look at it, it sort of reminds me. I don't know if you played Metal Gear Solid 5, or hell, even just a Metal Gear Solid game in general.
Mhm.
But with the sneaking suits, there are different variations of the times, of course, and I use MGS5 mainly because there's so many ways to get a sneaking suit, and they're like different. They have like different I won't say abilities, but stats to them really.
Right, specialties. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was thinking like with her stuff, doing the whole espionage, a solo espionage. Uh, I was thinking, okay, yeah, obviously it's gonna carry some like a utility belt. It's gonna have some gauntlets.
Yeah.
I think she had like an electro disc at one point in time.
Yeah.
and of course her weapon. So I was thinking, okay, it's more like it'll help her stick to the shadows, but not to like where she's gonna be very like much like a ninja. She's just gonna. It's just like okay, just in case, if I do get spotted. So I'm just thinking
Yeah.
like the different variations of her sneaking suit really, and
Yeah.
I I I I wanted to see more of that to be honest. I know that's just me, but I do want to see what that new suit's gonna look like and how it's gonna function. If there's gonna be limits that are if there's going to be way more limits than the previous one, or is going to exceed just by having a additional one or two I don't know sections to it or something.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely I mean, I don't have a problem with putting her in different suits. I mean,
Me neither.
yeah. um so, but yeah, I mean, this one I think this one is not as bulky as as the other one, as the one in Angel's Awakening, is especially in the chest area.
I don't have
Yeah,
something here in the references to show the new suit, but they will see it in the comic.
Yeah. You really don't see it as much in part 1, but you'll see a lot of it in part 2.
okay, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, and I would well. I was kind of getting a little ahead of myself there. I didn't want to say too much.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so all I gotta say is if y'all have read if any of y'all read the comic, you know what I'm gonna be talking about, possibly. But I'm gonna avoid that for now. So with these so this whole scenario of her doing this solo espionage, what is she what is her actual mission going what is the actual goal of her mission?
In Angel's Awakening or in
And Angel's Awakening?
so in Angel's Awakening, she's sent to the Britannian mainland, so basically England, to find a body in cryogenic stasis. And slight so spoiler if you haven't read Angel's Awakening, it's Henry is in the stasis pod, and um, so basically she's sent there by her superiors because they need more psychics to help them fight the Britannian Empire, and Henry seems like the most likely one because of his telekinesis. Even though if and again, if you read Angels Awakening, his body is not in great shape, but they have ways around that in the Republic.
That they do.
Yeah.
They do.
Um, but in mainly with her Jessica's main motivation is just is just trying to stay out of trouble, basically her own trouble, because she did not have the best life growing up, and she gets into a spot of trouble early in her life, and she has to make a deal to stay out of prison. And so for her, it's either it's either be a spy or be a thief, and she chooses spy.
Yeah. Reminds me of a little bit when we're doing the training, as you can say. Kind of remind me of the X-Men, really. Just
Yeah,
what they uh, how it just the way how it was presented to me. That's what reminds me of X-Men. It could, obviously remind you of something else, especially taking in certain inspirations from other types of media.
yeah.
But I got the X-Men type down because of really the enhancements they're being put through. Hell, I'll even say Halo to a degree.
Yeah, definitely. there's a little bit of X-Men influence in there. And actually, I've one of the forthcoming Guardian Angel stories that I just finished. There's a little bit of an X-Men vibe to it, the vibes of the story.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna ask. So we're gonna see like a bald headed man in a wheelchair.
Uh, prob- probably not. No.
And DB says, I was thinking something similar, like back when mutants were rare and you have Magneto and Professor X competing to recruit the newbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
For me, it was more like the Kingsman recruitment. If you saw
I could
Kingsman, the
see that
movie,
too. Yeah, I could see that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
reminded me of that.
And so, Bogdan, explain to me how that process was when you were doing those specific scenes of the training. What, how was it like? Like, what did you feel about it? And
So
did you give Daniel any feedback about like how this could work better or what you think could be changed a little bit?
on those particular scenes, no, but I gave him, like, for example, in the part two of Guardian Angel, I told him I would like to make, like, instead of a page, 5 page. That scene will be in 5 pages, uh,
Yeah.
because you will see it. It will be an epic scene, and I want to have, like, the most out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Bogdan twisted my arm on that one.
yeah, and I do have a. I don't even want to call it a complaint because I don't want this to be negative at all.
Mhm.
But there was a point in the comic. I'm not gonna try to get too ahead of myself with this again. Uh, when she gets to where the body is, where Harry is, and
Mhm.
it was just it just really like skipped like from day to night all of a sudden. And I understand
Yeah.
that she was waiting for 9 hours, but I was thinking like, like I would like to see what she was doing for 9 hours then, other than thinking like, she was just staying in place watching the base.
Yeah. Well, she was well, she had to go back to her hotel to get some more of her equipment, and uh, I figured 9 hours. I actually looked it up. That a train ride from London to Sheffield, which was near where the base was, is about 9 hours.
Mm,
I think that's where I got that from, if my memory is correct. So she was basically sitting on a train.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just more of a. I guess I just wanted to see like, okay, what she's
You
gonna
wanted
plan
to
to
see her
do.
preparation and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
that would have been really cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And plus, I mean, get more of an excuse to have some sexiness too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah.
Nah, but like I said, I'm really glad. Ever since was it Brink? Was it Mr. Brink or was it Cody from Geekly? I can't remember. But ever since
It
that
was Brink. Yeah.
it was Brink. Yeah, ever since that live stream with you and Brink, I'll be honest. I'm not really into like the like futurism and cyberpunkish stuff really.
Yeah.
But with your thing, I was like, you know what? Look, I'll give it a try for the hell of it and see, how this goes. I wasn't expecting much, but
Yeah.
then when I read into it, and then what really swung me over, uh, was the information that you gave in the back of it all, and I'm just like, wow, this guy really, these people, these two are just really actually have this all thought out, really. And I was just, I want to know more about the elementals. That's what really got me.
Yeah.
I wanted to know more about them. Of course, I wanted to know about the psychics. I wanted to know more about Henry as well. I'm glad. I'm really glad. We're gonna get Henry in this Guardian Angel
Yeah.
So I really want to see what he's all about, and I'm glad I was proven wrong. Really,
Yeah.
about this dystopian cyberpunkish type of a comic. Really,
Yeah.
uh, it there was
Yeah, also for me, when I read it, it reminded me a lot of Final Fantasy. Like it has fantasy elements and technological elements in it. And, yeah, it's and the lore. It's great. The lore of the book is
yes,
great.
yes, especially with damn it, I'm gonna mess it up. I'm sorry, Daniel.
It's
Uh, uh,
uh, Brit-
Britannia,
Britannia. Yeah.
yeah, Britannia, and the Republic of Freedom, was it? I can't remember. Shit.
Free Republic of America.
Yeah, the Free Republic of America. When I saw how lore heavy it was, and I'm looking at it right now, and there's like, damn, there's so much to read here, and I love how in the background you have like the illustrations of these places. The Britannian Empire with the guard. You see some of the guards. Then the Free
Yeah.
Republic of America. It looks like a actual hopeful, and I like that too when I'm looking at the contrast between these two pages. It's like the Britannian Empire page is like locked down, it's cold, gritty.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say gritty. I would just say it's just soulless because you see these guys in armor with their weapons, and you're it's a dark page. But then with the Free Republic of America, when I look at it, it's like it's daytime. You're seeing an awesome futuristic city, and I think that's and you see like a helicopter flying about. I guess like as a symbolism of freedom, really. Like that's why I think of it, really.
Yeah. I wanted to have that contrast between the two nations because, yeah, like you said, it's the Britannia living under the Britannian Empire it's a bit like living under sort of like somewhere between like the Soviet Union and Germany in the 1930s and 40s.
Mm.
Um, just yeah, the real very
Oppressive atmosphere.
oppressive. Yeah, oppressive. Very yeah, and like you were saying, Rhino, hopeless and bleak. But with the Republic, it's you know there's hope. It's optimism. It's yeah yeah
Yeah, yeah, it's really. You even see with the psychics and elementals, because the psychics page versus the elementals, it's like you don't think with the psychics, you don't see destruction. You just see them doing this pose,
yeah
and like they're really like they're firm in what they believe in. But then when you look at the elementals, it's like, oh, this is real bad.
yeah yeah yeah
the
yeah and I love I love how Bogdan draws the elementals when they're in their pure elemental form. It. I want Bogdan to draw on his horror background as much as he can, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's where I come from. Like, okay, I want to make them like monsters,
yeah,
yeah,
more
yeah.
or
No,
less when
you
they
you
when
you
they
need to do that.
transform.
Yeah, you convinced me with that one certain elemental. When I saw that, I don't know. I'm kind of scared, like to say certain things because I don't want to,
right,
you know.
yeah,
But
yeah,
what we talked about earlier,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So I'm just like, but I don't know. I guess it can't really be spoiled because again, the comic's been out for what, since 2020,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
and people, it's I'm just gonna say, like, I want to see this Fire Babe.
Oh,
I know
yeah,
she's smoking hot, literally, but
yeah, yeah,
I
Yeah,
want
well,
to.
with her, I want to make a contrast. Like when she's in her form, human form, she's hot. When she's in monster, in elemental form, she's a really, really, really ugly monster.
yeah,
So I want
Yeah,
to have that contrast.
yeah, good old Beauty and the Beast.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Her ugliness comes out, and yeah, when she's in her elemental form. Yeah,
yeah, Bogdan, please go crazy when it comes to her and
yes,
other. Like I want to be convinced. I want to see these people, well, wherever the hell they are, these elementals,
yeah,
just like they're just haunting.
That's why one page became 5.
Yeah,
Oh man, yeah,
yeah,
I'm ready.
yeah, yeah,
So
Yeah, I hope you will enjoy the first part of Guardian Angel. We
yeah,
really poured everything on into it. Art wise, is different than the first one, than Angel's Awakening. We
yeah,
changed the style, but it's still colorful. It's still. I think it's better
yeah.
art wise.
Yeah, I think the new art style fits the universe really well.
so uh so with these reprints of the first volume, there's a new art style you said, or am
Well,
I
with yeah, Guardian Angel has it's more of a painted style than Angel's Awakening.
okay?
Yeah,
No, I get that. That's a perfect change up too, especially when you're adding in another character.
yeah,
So I'm down with that. I mean, hell, I'll be honest. I'm down with anything as long as it makes sense and it's good.
yeah,
So
If you look side by side, you'll see the difference, but it still has that heart.
mhm,
It's just a better fit for the new story,
yeah.
I think.
yeah, I'm with that. I just are you guys gonna do another like few pages of information as well?
Not in not in part one. What we did was we threw some pinups in there in the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's awesome. And when can we expect Guardian Angel to come out?
Well, part one is being fulfilled right now. Um, I know some people have gotten their books already. Part two, uh, Bogdan's working on those pages right now. Probably do that hopefully sometime next year.
Okay.
Depending it depends on what
Depends on my slow ass.
I was gonna say other factors, but
That's
Yeah,
the biggest fact. That's the biggest fact.
yeah, that's why I meant to say part two. I didn't mean to
that's
mix up with part one. I meant to say part two. But
it's all right. It's all right.
yeah,
Um,
I'm just geez. Wow, I mean, I'm like a little kid in a candy shop right now. I'm just like
yeah,
because I get to talk to you guys about this. I literally have Angel's Awakening right here in my hand and talking about this finally. Again, I never to the audience. I mean, um, I never thought I'd have this interview with Daniel and Bogdan. Really, and nothing bad, but just like I didn't think I'll be doing interviews really with people I interact with
yeah.
from time to time.
Yeah, uh, as as the writer of Back to the Future once said, you never know what the future will bring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is kind of corny,
exactly.
but that's right.
Yeah,
It's true. You just never know who's watching
yeah,
or who's listening.
yeah.
But what were you gonna say, Bogdan? I'm sorry, man.
I don't know. I remember. I don't remember what I wanted to say.
Hey, see, he's as excited as me.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
No. I. I'm curious. What will you think when you get part one in your hands of Guardian Angel, and
Yeah.
because we were speaking about the lore pages. We have some lore, but it's in the story, not in the
Not in the
back.
back. Yeah.
We have the
Yeah.
information in the story this time.
Yeah, and I know a couple of the couple of panels in there. One in particular was a bit of a challenge for Bogdan to draw.
Yes.
I mean, it probably involves multiple babes, so yeah, I can understand why.
Well, it was okay. Well, light spoiler. It was Times Square in New York.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah. That's all you had to say was New York. I already,
Yeah.
I understand,
Yeah.
understandable.
Yeah.
It was like, I need to get this right. This doesn't, like, I had so many. I redrew the panel so many times because it wasn't looking like New York. It was something else. So, like, damn, I
Yeah.
need to do. I stayed like 2 weeks on that page, even more, I think, just to do
Wow,
it, just to do it right.
wow.
Yeah, I did not appreciate just how hard it was to draw, how hard it is to draw Times Square, because there's a lot going. If you've ever been to Times Square, like you'll know there's a lot going on in there.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen Times Square, but because of the Spider-Man movies and comics and all
Right.
types of media, I already know. Hell, even TikTok shows. I'm not even on TikTok, but you know the the TikTok shorts that people upload on YouTube or Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just what the hell's going on? And just the other day, I'm getting a little sidetracked, but just the other day, literally saw this video of a homeless guy stealing something from someone. Then Spider-Man just come out just randomly and just grab it. I don't know. I was just like, what the fuck? What the hell did I just see?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It all happened. It all happened so fast.
You
Yeah.
know how Americans say Europe it's not a real place sometimes, like when they see some videos from Europe. Like, it's the same for us when you see New York, for example. New York is
Yeah.
not a real place. It's not a real place.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. There are some states and cities to be prepared for just in case, just how wild they are. But you just never you expect it, but then you just can never. I don't know.
Yeah. It's yeah. I used to go to New York when I was a kid. We'd go there on vacations. I haven't been back there in almost 20 years, just because of how much that city has fallen off.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even um, been to New Orleans. I know that's not a state, but New
Yeah.
Orleans.
Well,
That's the best way I can explain. I can like it could be similar to New York City's is New Orleans right there.
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's just literally the southern version of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I no, I know that. Yeah. I lived in New Orleans. I can. Yeah. I can
Oh
attest to
my
that. Yeah.
gosh! Ooh,
Yeah. Not New Orleans proper, but close to New
yeah.
Orleans. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a strange accent there, at least in the movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They that's an entirely different beast on its own,
Yeah.
and the fact it's below sea level too.
It is. Yeah. That's
Ooh,
yeah.
but anyway,
Yes.
anyway. So, is there anything more that you can say about part two of Guardian Angel, or even part one?
um. Well, I will say part one focuses more on Henry and Jessica.
Okay.
A lot of the focus is on them, and I will say part two has more focus on the elementals. Although, but Henry and Jessica are very prominent in that in part two. But there's definitely more. You get more of a sense of the dynamic between the different elemental groups.
That's cool. I do. That was one thing I wish for too, was seeing things from their perspective, from the bad guys' perspective. So,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you will see definitely in part two.
yeah.
oh man, it's gonna go hard. I already know it. I can't wait for that one too.
Oh
What
yeah,
you see? This is
yeah.
what you did, Daniel. Daniel and Bogdan, this is what you did. Now, you turned me into like a whole into an ultimate fan of sorts, really.
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, I think that was the plan.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I have a compulsion. Like I gotta spend money here and there now. like gambling.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm slow, so you don't have to spend it too often.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to make you an offer you can't refuse.
Ooh.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But
Oh.
so is there anything extra? Anything else y'all want to throw in, like little like fun, like like a fun tip or whatever, or fun fact? I mean,
Um. Well, I think I mentioned that I mentioned the Republic, the Free Republic of America. It used to be Texas. Um, and I chose Texas because I was living in Texas at the time when I was writing it.
okay.
And uh, I actually lived there for better part of 2 decades, so I know the state very well. And I also picked it too because little known facts. Texas was at one time uh, its own country, its own nation.
It was.
Yeah, yeah.
It was.
And there is now I'm not entirely certain of this, but there is a clause. There may be a clause in the Texas state constitution that they can secede from America at any point that they want. I don't know if that's a thing or not, if it is in there, if they can actually do that. I don't think they can, but that's kind of one of the reasons. Another reason I picked it because of that whole dynamic there. Um, and Lone Star City, which is the capital, is Austin, which is the city where I lived for you know most of the time, the the entire time I was in Texas. So if you lived in Austin or if you've been to Austin, you might see some recognizable things here and there.
Hmm. Yeah, now that makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say it. Not gonna say it because I might get the FBI and CIA on me for some reason.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
But all I gotta say is that there should be a little government. That's all I'm gonna say. There should be a little government, not no big government. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Well, I will say the republic is small government. Yeah, it's government, lowercase government. So, and I think. Well, Bogdan, I don't know if you have anything you
Yeah,
like to add.
you were speaking earlier about Metal Gear Solid. Henry, his costume, I was inspired by Metal Gear Solid.
Really?
Yeah,
Which snake?
uh, Big Boss.
Big
Uh,
Boss.
al-
Yeah. Which
Also
Big Boss?
the original Big Boss, but
Okay.
the poncho, because he has like some sort of a poncho cape from Metal Gear Solid 5. Because I saw it like it looks cool on armor. I should do it on Henry. So
Yeah.
Well,
I asked Daniel if he's okay with it, and now
Yeah.
that's how we got to Henry's new look. New look.
Yeah. 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 It definitely adds more. It definitely adds a cool aesthetic to his suit. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's awesome. Knowing that little fun fact. And what is there like any quirks with like the psychics? With because of their abilities? Like, did they just unintentionally just find out little things that they could do, and then that's just like they just use it as a way to pass the time or something? Or am I just thinking too much?
Um, well, I mean, when they come into, I will say, when you mentioned X-Men and DB mentioned X-Men. When they come into their powers, it is very similar to when the mutants come into their powers. They manifest and then they don't know what to do with them. They think that there's something wrong with them, but it's like, no, it's just part of who you are, and you need to learn how to control it and you know use it for good, hopefully for good and not for evil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I could just and since they've been waging this war with the elementals for so long, uh, it makes me wonder like how many psychics there were. Like,
There were, I will say, there were more elementals than psychics, but there weren't that many. I estimate there were kind of maybe a few thousand.
okay,
Yeah.
and with elementals, was it like a were they natural or was it like a manufactured thing, like with the boys or
They're natural.
okay,
Yeah, uh, I will say they in the past they would do better job of keeping themselves hidden, because it's harder for an elementals stand out more so than psychics, mainly because of their hair color.
right,
But they figure out a way to kind of hide, but they had to figure out a way to hide better. But they no they were born that way, just like psychics. I characterize them as being forces of nature. They're just
right, yeah.
yeah.
I, it's just really interesting because I know that y'all are working on the stories of like the current day stuff,
Mhm.
but I would like to see a prequel too. And if you don't do a prequel, then I kind of imagine with Harry's type of stuff. I'm thinking like a little. I'm getting if you ever played Mass Effect 3,
Oh yeah,
specifically the DLC mission with Javik.
yeah,
That's what I was
yeah,
kind of thinking of with Henry. I was like, man, I would like to see him like he's coming out of stasis, and he's like, well, it may feel like it may to him it may feel like it's been like so and so many years have passed, and he's kind of seeing that still. He's just not he hasn't gotten used to the present. His mind is
yeah,
catching up.
yeah,
I would
yeah. There's definitely some of that. Yeah.
okay,
Um, and throughout I will say throughout the series, he does. There are some things here and there where he'll have to get used to things like using different technologies and stuff, where it's just, I mean, it's like somebody from the 1920s. You hand them a cell phone and they're like, How do I use this is a
yeah,
phone, what?"
yeah,
Yeah, there'll be a little bit of that in future stories. Yeah.
okay. And how's his weapons like? Is it just imprinted with like he's the only one that can use it, and it's because it matches with his DNA or something, or
Um, yeah, so the sword works in concert with his telekinesis.
okay.
He's able to kind of basically supercharge it. And it's made from a special metal, like a composite metal that they make in the Republic. So it reacts to his powers.
So like well, I don't know my metals like that, I'll be honest, but like a rare earth element, really?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
I kind of got the idea from well, this is probably going to get me canceled, but from Atlas Shrugged. Um,
Okay.
there's a character, Henry Reardon. He develops a metal that is lighter than steel, but it's like I think it's like 10 times stronger than steel, but it's like 5 times lighter or something like that. And that's what he wanted to build the rail. He wanted to build these railways with these uh, with this metal, and that's kind of where I got the idea, where they make this like composite metal of different, kind of like I don't want to say vibranium, but kind of like vibranium type thing.
Okay.
Yeah, vibranium or adamantium. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's because I'm getting a little bit of MGR vibes with it, with the sword. I mean, with
Yeah.
the high frequency blade.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I'm not even thinking like Jetstream Sam. I'm thinking like Raiden's default swords. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Really,
Very similar. Yeah. Yeah.
I like this. I like these parallels that I'm making. I think
Yeah.
that's the reason why I'm getting more into it. It's because of
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I actually
But
designed it from. Got inspired by the Moonlight great sword from the Dark Souls.
Dark Souls,
Yes. Yeah.
that's a good
So
sword.
the design, because it's one of my favorite swords. Like, okay, his sword is bluish. I can do something similar to that. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
each
great choice.
each one of us has its own inspirations.
Yeah. And we were able to come together, and yeah, so and we bring them all together and make just amazing characters and designs, and yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe one day we'll just have a little crossover, not in the comic, but like I don't know, I don't know, like a commission or something. Just have a crossover
Yeah.
Sure.
with Jessica. But my thing is like I'm trying to think like my thing is more. It's just more of a not high. Is it dark fantasy? I'm sorry. It's more of a dark fantasy
Yeah.
than so I'm just thinking like it could work, maybe it couldn't, I don't know, but it'd just be fun. Then
Yeah.
that's what it is, just having fun with stuff like this, actually providing entertainment to people instead of preaching to them about how they should be better and how much certain our people are better than them. And man,
Yeah.
we really live in the mediocre times of entertainment, don't we?
Yes.
Yes, we do. Yeah. uh if the Marvels is any indication of that, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm surprised it still earned a few million.
I'm not. I think you're still gonna have some hardcore Marvel people who are they're just gonna consume the content no matter what they excrete out.
Same for Star Wars. You still
So,
have
yeah.
people who will cry at Star Wars movies, even
Yeah.
though they're not even 1% of what it was.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't like my Star Wars. That's for sure. I think y'all have already seen a little bit of a hint of that with
Yeah.
concerning Boba Fett.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I just like to play their own games with them. They say the
Yeah.
Force is female. I say I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't like that at all. Oh, DB. Okay. Not everybody's really paying attention to TV shows.
Yeah.
So from hang on, gonna sneeze for a bit.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it says so from their perspective, the last Marvel thing was Guardians 3, which was pretty good. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Was it good?
I liked it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
that best Marvel movie since probably Far From Home.
mm, that's surprising. I see.
Yeah.
I I'm a I don't really. You guys know this. I'm sorry. I cannot speak tonight. Now I'm about to sneeze again.
Oh.
I vehemently hate Disney. Y'all know that
Yeah.
with a passion. So
yeah, they're certainly not. They're not the Disney of old. I will say that. Yeah,
For sure.
yeah,
yeah,
Fortunately, we still have the Disney of old. Like we can still watch the old cartoons, and
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I guess that's true, but I'm just at a point where I don't want to watch anything Disney related. Don't want to see anything. I'm really at that point.
Which that's worse than hatred. I think apathy is worse than hatred, because you become apathetic, then they just don't care, and you don't consume whatever it is they want you to consume, and then they start losing money, and then wonder why they start losing money.
yeah, for them that is worse because hating something like I need to watch this to make a video on YouTube and rant about it.
Right.
So you're still giving them money, and
Yeah. I think it was kind of the whole point of that South Park special.
yeah,
Yeah. Well,
that was
I
a
guess it
great
has its pros
episode.
and cons.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if I'm gonna say this, if this were to become a movie or a show one day,
Hmm.
what studio would you like to work? Like, would it be live action or animation?
I would prefer animation, especially if it's in Japan. But failing that, I'd probably want the animation studio that did Castlevania for Netflix. I think that style would fit this story really well.
Okay.
Um,
If
as
I
far
had
as oh, sorry, go ahead, Bogdan.
no, go ahead, and then I'll
Um,
say.
um, but yeah, as far as like live action, like I don't really know of anybody. Maybe, you know, if somebody like a John Favreau type was working on it, I would be a little more comfortable. But you know, I would probably demand too much control over over the project, and they would say, "Okay, forget it."
As you
Uh,
should.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm just saying is that if you're gonna be wanting to make a show out of something, out of a book or a comic, I'm not gonna be treated like a third party.
yeah,
That's my stuff. That's
yeah,
my stuff. You are the ones who came to me, not me coming to you. You came to me.
yeah,
Yeah, we're not gonna be doing. We're not gonna be playing those. Jessica Sawyer becoming a Asian or whatever. I'm.
yeah,
Race.
yeah.
God, man, and that's not me
She'll
trying to
become a
say.
man.
Yeah,
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 or choosing the most ugliest woman.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Having the ugliest actress they can find play her. Yeah,
yeah,
I I think that for me that's a huge problem is would be trying to find an actress to play her, because I can't think of any actresses who could look and play her
I,
convincingly.
I honestly, I came up with this decision for mine. If someday that does happen, I say, look, give me cosplayers who actually do know how to act too. I said that's
Yeah,
it, because most of you don't really have to worry about the makeup department. They'll do it themselves. Just make sure that they're whoever they buy, um they're compensated for, obviously,
right.
and they'll just
Yeah,
do it themselves, literally.
yeah, yeah,
Something.
yeah.
Maybe I'm being too simple, but
No,
as
no,
I
I hear you. There are some cosplayers out there that can pull a character off more convincingly than any actress.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm not even trying to be funny here. If a porn star can do better than an actress or an actor, that's really telling you something.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if the porn parody is more faithful to the source
Oh god,
material
yeah,
than the actual
exactly,
movie. Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, jeez. Man.
Yeah, I don't want anything Hollywood touching my shit. To be honest, I just
Well,
I
yeah.
might
Yeah.
I might lose my mind.
Well, especially not how Hollywood is now. Yeah.
I can't. I mean, the ones I'm certain that are actually genuine good people, like they don't get talked about. They don't get talked about a lot at all.
Right.
That's how you know.
Yeah.
Usually,
Yeah.
it's just the others that talk a lot about. It's like, what did you do? What did you do?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough of my hatred right there. I had to get
Okay.
that out a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see. Well, I'm excited to read part one. Excited to get part two whenever that comes out. If
Yeah.
whenever.
Yeah.
But of course, and hopefully, I might be able to do another interview with you guys in the future about that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'd love to come back on. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I don't want DB joining us though. DB's not between me and you guys. He's not. He's not. No, I was kidding. I'm kidding.
I was about to say, like, what are you going with that?
No, I love to have DB on again as well too.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a fun stream. I know we kind of went live with it, and we're just oh god, DB, don't make me oh no, DB, no, no.
Oh!
No. We love you,
Alright.
DB.
Okay, but seriously, I'm glad y'all were able to do this. I'm very honored that y'all are here, especially the great DB as well.
Yes.
And man, this was fun. I don't know. It feels weird to interview you guys, to be honest. It feels weird to ask you guys these questions. Like this is really happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna end
Yeah.
it here.
All right.
So, to my audience, to DB, to everyone watching the replay, or to those who listen to it, haters involved, I guess, because you weirdos like to come at me, especially because you're beloved Spider-Man or Miles Morales. I mean, thank you for at least giving us a chance, watching this, checking these guys out. Guardian Angel, Angel's Awakening,
Yeah.
great comics. If you're into that cyber futuristic dystopian type of stuff, it kind of reminds you of X-Men. It's gonna be right there for y'all, especially for you MGS fans. I should know because I'm an MGS fan as well. So
Yeah.
everything just fits. It just
Yes.
works. As Todd
Yeah.
Howard would say.
Yeah.
And then nothing works.
16 times the detail.
Jeez.
All right.
Yeah.
Ciao, everyone.
All right.